It's been 2.5 years since I tried out the Lectric XP3, and I wrote about my experiences on ZDNet. That's also just before ZDNet stopped covering e-bikes and I switched to coverage of e-bikes here on my YouTube channel. For the past few weeks, I've been riding the newest model from Lectric, and it has me bouncing between it and the Lectric One as my daily commuter. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, and thanks for visiting the Mobile with Matt YouTube channel. I hope that you enjoy this video and appreciate your consideration for subscribing or sharing my experiences with family and friends. The Lectric XP4, as you can see in front of me here, is the successor to the XP3, and it offers several improvements over that model and improvements in what I saw even in the latest Lectric One experience. It's been a blast riding it during the Bike to Work month in May here at work, and it is likely to serve as my daily commuter versus the Lectric One. Let me start off by unboxing and assembling the bike before I share my experiences with it. The Lectric XP4 arrived in a fairly small box, so I cut away the securing tape and pulled out some of the top packing boxes. As I looked inside, it looked like everything was put together. So I simply reached in, pulled out the entire bike, and moved the box aside to reveal lots of recyclable packaging material. And I spent the majority of my time taking that material off of the bike. But much to my surprise, the bike was fully assembled, even including the pedals, the front wheel, and everything. The only thing I really had to assemble was to take the handlebars and slide it onto the stem, but then I just used the clamp to secure it. There was really no tools at all required. Putting on the display did require a small Allen wrench to secure the display, but that was it. Wow, that was absolutely the quickest unboxing ever, because this bike is nearly complete and ready to go right out of the box. Not a single tool was needed to set up the bike, but I do recommend that you go through and check and tighten all of the fittings after a couple weeks of riding. The unboxing actually worked out perfectly, as I only had about 15 minutes before we were leaving for an appointment to unbox the bike and get it ready for my first commute the following morning. Generally, unboxings and setup of bikes take me 30 minutes to 45 minutes depending on how many parts and pieces there are, and to do that in under 10 minutes was fantastic. I also really love that Lectric eBikes packages its bikes with biodegradable and recyclable materials. It's so nice to remove the packaging knowing that I'm not filling up a landfill with styrofoam, plastics, and all kinds of other junk. The bike was wrapped perfectly in recyclable paper with string tying things together, and everything was protected and in great condition. The Lectric XP4 is available with a step-over or a step-through frame, as well as a 750 watt version with a larger capacity battery. The step-over model, I don't have that one here, is available in pine green and tempest gray, so it has a couple of limited colors. The step-through model that you see in front of me is available in tempest gray, stratus white, and this cool raindrop blue color that you see in front of me. I'll talk a bit later about configurations and pricing. But let's start off with some key specifications of the Lectric XP4 750 watt step-through model that I have in front of me and that I was able to test. Of course, it has that typical 6000 series aluminum alloy construction. The bike does weigh in a bit heavy at 71 pounds. That includes the 9-pound battery that's included in the bike. And then as you can see here, I also have the electric lock mounted on there, which is probably another pound or so. But it's 71 pounds and it's not super light, although it does come with a very nice carrying handle to pick it up. The bike does have a capacity of 330 pounds, and that rear rack, the rear rack is integrated into the frame. That has a 150 pound carrying capacity. And what you see on top of that is another accessory that comes with the bike that I'll talk about in a little bit. And this rack on top of the integrated rack is just designed to help you add accessories and carry things. The bike has a 750 watt rear hub motor with 1310 watts of peak power, has 85 Newton meters of torque, and an electric proprietary torque sensor to help you pedal the bike forward. The battery is a 48 volt, 17.5 amp hour battery with UL 2271 certification. Does have 5 levels of pedal assist and a left thumb throttle. And with pedal assist, you can go up to 28 miles per hour, and I'll talk about how we do that later. And with the throttle, it is 20 miles per hour. Lectric also advertises a range of up to 85 miles in pedal assist mode, but the mileage may vary quite a bit because that's usually about 140 or 150 pound person and flat with pedal assist 1, and I'll talk about my real mileage that I experienced when I was riding this. Has a Shimano Altus 8-speed shifting system, hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors, hydraulic front forks with a 50mm range and adjustable tension. Has those 20-inch by 3-inch eBike puncture-resistant tires with slime installed in those tires, and a 90-lumen front headlight and a rear brake light, also with turn signal indicators. It does have plastic fenders and quick-release pedals that are a little bit different designed than the quick-release pedals that I've seen on other electric bikes. This looks like a more modern design with a little bit more accuracy on the pedals and attaching them. And it does have plastic pedals with knobs on there for gripping with your shoes. Has a folding design with the handlebars folding down, the frame folding in half, and the pedals, of course, being removed. Has a vibrant color LCD display with a USB-C port on there, and that display is removable, which is kind of nice to have in case you break that display or have problems with it in the future. Has a telescoping comfort seat post with a very comfortable padded seat that's a little bit big and wide for me. I would probably take the seat from the Lectric One and put it on top of that post if I wanted a little bit more comfort. The bike is UL 2849 and UL 2271 certified, with the motor controller having an IPX5 water resistant rating. For the longest time, maybe since the beginning of electric e-bikes, every bike has had a very basic controller with a power button, a plus and minus button, and that's about it. 3-button controller on the left, and in the beginning there was monochrome displays. Some of the newer bikes like the Lectric One have color displays. This is the first time that I've ever seen it on an electric bike. We now have a controller with 5 buttons covered in a nice silicone material and widely separated buttons in a round configuration and one in the center. That center button serves as the power button where you can press and hold it to turn the bike on and off. The plus button up above and the minus button down below, of course, toggle you through the different pedal assist levels, and the right and left buttons are simply for the turn signal indicators. Now, to toggle the headlight or the tail light on and off, you simply press and hold the plus button, and then to enable the walking mode, you press and hold the minus button. The real power in this new controller and system, though, is to press and hold both the plus and the minus buttons at the same time to access the advanced settings. You will see a whole new collection of options appear on your display in 2 different screens. In here you will find settings for the screen brightness, the bike classification 1, 2, or 3, assistance levels, throttle output, throttle 0 start options, walk mode, and light operation. It's very similar to that advanced UI that we see on the controller from Lectric, and I love that controller. This one offers the perfect combination of advanced functionality without requiring a smartphone app or confusing the consumer in any way. Everything is very easy to use. Once you press the plus and minus, you jump into that controller. You then use the plus and minus to move up and down the settings, and then left and right to select the different settings and the options, and then press the center button to actually choose that setting. So it's very, very easy to use. It's all on the bike itself. There's no smartphone app, no other connectivity. Go ahead and talk about some of my riding experiences with this bike over the last few weeks. So it has an advertised 85 Newton meters of torque and that big 750 watt rear hub motor. So I expected to be able to ride up my 13 to 15% incline hills pretty well. I was able to use just the left thumb throttle and use just the throttle to go up the hill. It did slow down to about 5 miles per hour, but it never stopped. And then I was able to use the highest level of pedal assist to propel myself forward 10 to 12 miles per hour with fairly easy effort. With that highest level of pedal assist to propel myself forward fairly easily at 10 to 12 miles per hour. And then on some of the hills that weren't that steep, I used throttle only, and it was 10 to 12 with just the throttle. So even though this bike is quite heavy and I myself am quite heavy, it took minimal effort to go on the steepest hills, and throttle only was just fine on regular hills. Now, getting off the hills and going to more flat, typical areas of riding, I was able to easily unlock that bike by accessing those advanced settings, and then I switched it into Class 3 pretty quickly. When I commute, I ride down into the city, and the city does not have any bike lanes or anything, so I have to ride with traffic. So I like to bump bikes up to Class 3 because then with pedal assist I can get up to 28 miles per hour, and in the 35 mile per hour zone I'm a little bit closer to traffic. Class 3 does limit the throttle to 20 miles per hour and the pedal assist to 28. So many companies that I've tested in the past, they kind of violate that Class 3 limit and they go from 24 to 28 miles per hour with a throttle, but it's actually nice to see Lectric keep a legal Class 3 limit. Now, those other bikes, it's fine to exceed that Class 3 limit, but technically you're not supposed to ride the bikes in areas where there are those limits, and you're supposed to take them maybe off-road or somewhere else. But it's kind of a fuzzy line that many manufacturers cross, but it's nice to see the Lectric sticks with the Class 3 limit. Now, the new controller allows you to tie the pedal assist level to the throttle speed level. And if you've watched any of my more recent e-bike reviews, you see that I'm mentioning that more and more often, as more companies are tying the pedal assist level to that throttle level, or giving you the option to do that, so that you don't get full throttle at level 1. You can actually choose pedal assist level 3 and understand what throttle level you might be able to get. That's a little bit easier with your thumb to hold it down fully and get whatever throttle level you want at that pedal assist level. You can also set that throttle speed to start with, so when you first go off the line, you can go to a certain level of throttle, and that's in those settings as well. With Class 3 enabled on this bike, at level 0, there's no throttle at all, right? You push the throttle at level 0, you're not going anywhere. Level 1 is called Eco Mode. It's 10 to 11 miles per hour. For me, in a fairly typical flat area, I am 240 pounds, so I'm going to go 10 to 11 miles per hour in Eco Mode. Level 2, which is Tour Mode, I was able to go about 13 to 14 miles per hour. Level 3, Sport Mode, 16 miles per hour. Level 4 at Sport Plus Mode, 18 miles per hour, and level 5 turbo mode, I was able to achieve that full 20 miles per hour of pedal assist, so that's great to have. Talking about range a little bit, with just the throttle only, I was able to go about 25 to 30 miles in that throttle only mode, depending on how fast I was riding. Lectric eBikes advertises 85 miles with pedal assist, so getting close to half that with throttle only for me is pretty good. Now, most of the time, I did use pedal assist mode because I wanted to get up to that 28 miles per hour, and I spent most of my time in pedal assist levels 3 and 4 actually. Level 1 and 2 didn't offer that much assistance for my weight and the bike weight. Levels 3, 4, and 5 were awesome though, and quite powerful in Class 3 mode. I was able to easily exceed 26, 27 miles per hour, sometimes 28, but I wasn't pedaling that fast, so I wasn't always able to get to the 28. Lectric, as I mentioned, advertises a very long 85 miles of range, and that's expected with this large capacity battery and the motor and the bike design. While I was in pedal assist mode, I experienced closer to 45 or 50 miles, which is pretty typical and fairly accurate for my weight, size, wind resistance, and everything else. So I would say that 40 to 50 miles is what you could probably expect. Now, if you're a smaller, lighter person, you can maybe expect that 70 miles or more with the range. The Lectric XP4 is also capable of being ridden with no power assistance at all, but it's a pretty heavy bike, and I really didn't like riding it for too long. But thankfully, that large capacity battery helps it achieve a good range, so you should be able to manage your battery. And in worst case situation, if your battery dies, you can pedal and get yourself home or to some place where you can be picked up later. And it's a foldable bike, so you can put it in the back of most trunks. The Lectric XP4 far exceeded my expectations. When I first saw the announcement of the XP4, I was like, oh, I tested the XP3. It was a great bike. Really wasn't something for me because of the more comfortable seat and kind of cruising and things like that. But then when the XP4 was offered to me, I said, oh, I'll give it a try. It far exceeded my expectations. I didn't realize there was such an improvement in the controller and the customization and the capabilities that you can have over with that 5-button controller. It has lovely color options. As you can see here, I love this blue color that they have. It has excellent build quality. It is a powerful bike with long range and high capacity battery, and fairly solid competitive pricing, as I'll talk about in a few minutes. The display is easily removable and adjustable, which is good if it ever breaks and needs to be replaced. And one big thing that I was always bothered with was having to insert the key in many of the electric bikes to get them to operate. You no longer need a key into the battery compartment for operation. There are always some things for improvement. Now, I can't probably see in this video itself, but that is not the kickstand that comes with the bike. The kickstand that comes with the XP4 is pretty terrible. It's primarily terrible because it is a very small footprint, and when you rest it in any surface that might have any softness to it, dirt or grass or something, the bike could fall over because the foot is so small on that kickstand. And I really wish that Lectric would have used the kickstand like from the Lectric 1, which is similar to the one I have installed here. Unfortunately, the attachment to the bike isn't a very typical attachment, so I had to buy the kickstand on Amazon, then go to the McClendon's hardware store and find the right bolts to be able to bolt it on. But now I'm very happy with it because I have a large footprint kickstand, and it's very secure. Unfortunately, there's still no horn or bell that's included with the bike. I was expecting with this advanced controller to maybe have an electronic bell or something like that. I don't even think there was a standard bell in the package. I'll have to check for that because I do like to have a bell when I'm riding the bike. The bike is also pretty dang heavy for carrying upstairs or putting in the trunk, but that's not anything that can really be done with a particular design because you have that high capacity battery and every other design feature, so it's a trade-off. But just be aware it is not the lightest bike to carry around. Let's get into some of the pricing now. The base model Lectric XP4 is available with a 500 watt motor and a 10.4 amp hour battery. That's available for $999. And that's pretty incredible since that is the same launch price as the XP3 in 2022. And even with tariffs and other inflationary prices, Lectric was able to keep that bike at just under $1,000, and that's a great deal. The base model is available in Step Over in Tempest Gray and Step Through in Stratus White, so you do have fewer selections on the color options if you choose the base model, but that's still a good price. Now, if you want to pay $300 more, $1,299, you can get this larger 750 watt motor with a larger 17.5 hour amp battery. And those larger capacity models are available in Step Over in a pine green color and a Step Through in Tempest Gray and what you see here, this raindrop blue. That $300 price does offer you 50% more power and 68% more range. So if you're going to buy an XP4, I would seriously consider these higher capacity models over the base model because you get quite a deal with that, and you're going to get some extra accessories that add up to over $350. The Lectric XP4 by default comes with the fenders, the rear rack, ergonomic hand grips, and the front and rear lights. There are also lots of available accessories, including this level up rack that you see there, the comfort seat, the suspension seat post, elite headlight, fast charger, cargo package, comfort package, and much more. The 750 watt model actually includes many of those accessories, as I just mentioned, with a value of $356. I've enjoyed riding electric bikes for years. I didn't give much thought to the XP4.0 when it was first announced because I'm so satisfied with the Lectric One. However, after riding it for a few weeks, I'm now struggling to figure out which is my preferred commuter bike. I love the lighter weight and the automatic transmission of the Lectric One, but it's a bit smaller bike and I don't know if I look too goofy as a bigger guy riding that bike. The modern display and controller, the longer frame that fits me better, the front suspension, and the folding capability make the XP4 very compelling and something that I'm seriously considering using instead of the Lectric One. If you're looking for one of the best overall electric bikes that satisfies those looking for a commuter, a trail bike, a folding bike, and multi-purpose bike, then it's really tough to beat the XP4.0. Compared to the XP3.0, we now have a torque sensor, a more powerful motor, advanced controller and customization, and large hydraulic brakes. Although those hydraulic brakes were available, and I did perform that upgrade with that free upgrade kit from Lectric many years ago. Thanks to Lectric Bikes for sending along the XP4.0 to test out. I highly recommend supporting Lectric and its extremely generous contributions to local communities. The company is one of the most popular, if not the most popular, e-bike company in the US, and XP4.0 is sure to be a bestseller. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, interact with me here, and stay tuned for more coverage of e-bikes, wearables, and other mobile technology. And may the mobile force be with you.